Right, we're here with Coach Juli Fulks following Marshall's 57 to 51 loss at Indiana. If we could just start with an opening statement from Coach, and then we'll open up to questions.
I think I'm a mix of emotions. I am not a moral victory person, and we thought we could get this game. And defensively, we did a really good job. We absolutely understood the plan. One of the things I challenged them with was before the game that we kept 10 off the 3-point line. I mean, she went for 35 last game, and the zone is built to take away really elite guards at the 3-point line. And so she didn't take a single three all night. We battled, and I just thought we weren't settled in the first quarter on offense, and then we got settled and we missed layups, and we had a chance. But there on the flip side, there's a lot of really good things. We got 18 steals on defense. We held them, and so there was a lot of good. But I'm also we could have got that one.
Well, Coach, when you look at this game, just what does it show about your team to be able to continue to fight in that first half despite the shots not falling?
Yeah, our defense is meant to hold for us. That's now our third game in a row that I thought we have defended really well. We're keeping people under, 15 a quarter. Um, and we got to get a little more settled on offense. We executed so much better in the second half and understanding where and how we were going to score. And um, hopefully this carries us forward because we had the looks. And the theme right now for us is when we execute as a group, we're pretty darn good. And when we have the possessions where either we're not on the same page or we have people in the wrong spot, we have really tough possessions, and that hurt us tonight.
Coach, you know the old saying, defense travels, though. I mean, you guys have really been good on defense and had some shots falling. You may be talking about a different outcome tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we had some really good looks on the outside and feet set with space. And if we'd have made a couple of those, that would have opened up the interior. And so, I always laugh because, we've won a lot of games these last, however many years playing defense. And, I really like the offensive side of the ball, but you're right, defense travels and it gives you chances every night. We had a lot of steals that gave us some chances at the rim. We didn't settle and make those shots, and that's what we'll keep working on.
Yeah, second half, your offense was looking very improved. You actually outscored them 30 to 32. So how do you think you can use that momentum kind of going into the meat of the Sun Belt schedule?
Yeah, I thought in the second half we did a much better job interior. We started the play the first half or the second half with Olivia Olson coming off a screen, but to get the ball inside. And then we kept throwing it inside, and we got to be able to score in the paint. And we've worked on it. And I still think we're better than we were today at doing that. And we're going to keep working on that because it can't just be shooting threes. We've got to be able to get in the paint. We have a lot of weapons. And I thought there were some tough calls. I thought there was a couple times that we had done the right things, and but that's going to happen on the road, and that is what it is. And we knew we were going to have to play through some things, but the second half, the biggest difference is we just executed a whole lot more. And so I feel good about that part.
And how do you think, kind of playing, in that really tough environment in Indiana can kind of really help your team, kind of be better for those moments as the season goes along?
Well, I have to think this is as good an environment as any that we're going to play in. It was a huge crowd. Um, and they're obviously you're playing in the Big Ten. And so I think that'll be great for us because we're going to play some really big games in our conference. And, we got Kentucky on Saturday. And, it's just hard to sometimes mimic that physicality. And they were super physical with the guard play. And, and we try to do that in practice, but it's hard to always replicate some of that stuff. And I thought we did a way better job as the game went on of really handling that kind of pressure and using screens. So that was probably the big difference. And we, the first half we had that stuff there, and we were just a little bit unsettled, and they won those kind of physical battles. But we flipped that in the second half, and I'm super proud of that.
And talking about like you play Kentucky next, how does a game like this help you prepare for Kentucky at home this weekend?
Well, I mean, that kind of size, Kentucky's obviously going to be bigger than what we just saw today. I think that's kind of been Kentucky's calling card these last few years, or at least his, is that he has really physically big teams. And so this was good for us because, we had to rebound by committee on both ends of the floor, and We had a lot of good possessions, but we had a couple that got away from us, and we really wish we could have had those back. Um, but you know, the size and speed is hard to replicate at any point, and so this will be good for that.
Your bench again was terrific. Again, depth. That's going to
Yes.
on the road.
Yeah, the depth matters on both ends. You know, when we sub, sometimes we gain on offense and sometimes we gain on defense. And it's the best thing because we can run different people in and in different scenarios. I was really proud of the group down the end. We were subbing for rebounding, we were subbing for pressing, and we were subbing for offense. And, we were able to do each of those effectively. Shoot, maybe I should have been doing that the whole game. But it really mattered. We were getting people in the right spot and they were playing to their strengths. And I thought that was really good.
All right, anything further for Coach? All good.
Thank you,
All
Coach.
right.
Thank
Thanks,
you guys.
Coach.
Appreciate it.